Have you ever wondered why some of the most iconic songs in history were born from pain? From heartbreak to depression, artists like Adele, Nirvana, and Amy Winehouse turned their darkest moments into music that resonated with millions. But here's the deeper question. Why does pain have such a profound impact on creativity? What happens in our brains when we're hurting, and how does it translate into art? To answer these questions, we'll explore the neuroscience of emotional pain, the psychology of vulnerability, and the evolutionary roots of why humans are drawn to sad music. We'll also dive into real-life examples of artists who transform their suffering into masterpieces. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand the science behind this phenomenon, but also discover how you can channel your own struggles into something meaningful. Let's begin. When we experience pain, whether it's the sting of rejection, the weight of loss, or the ache of unfulfilled dreams, it triggers a cascade of neurological responses. Studies show that emotional pain activates the same regions of the brain as physical pain, the anterior cingulate cortex and the insula. This overlap isn't just a coincidence, it's a survival mechanism. Pain forces us to pay attention, to process what's happening, and ultimately to adapt. But here's where it gets fascinating. While pain is inherently uncomfortable, it also heightens our sensitivity to the world around us. Neuroscientists call this state hyperreflexivity, a condition where our minds become acutely attuned to our emotions and surroundings. For artists, this heightened awareness can lead to bursts of creativity. It's as if the brain, overwhelmed by emotion, seeks an outlet, and for many, that outlet is art. Let's break this down further. When we're in emotional distress, our brains enter a state of hyperawareness. This is because the limbic system, the part of the brain responsible for processing emotions, becomes overactive. At the same time, the prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for decision-making and rational thought, slows down. This imbalance creates a perfect storm for creativity. Without the constraints of logical thinking, our minds are free to wander, explore, and connect seemingly unrelated ideas. Take Kurt Cobain, for example. His lyrics didn't just reflect his inner turmoil, they became a mirror for an entire generation. Songs like Smells Like Teen Spirit weren't just rebellious anthems. They were cries of frustration, alienation, and pain. Cobain once said, "I write songs when I'm angry," and neuroscience backs him up. Research shows that negative emotions, like anger or sadness, often trigger creative thinking because they push us to seek resolution, whether through words, melodies, or rhythms. Now, let's talk about vulnerability. Brené Brown, a leading researcher on vulnerability, argues that vulnerability is the birthplace of creativity. When artists open themselves up and share their raw emotions, they create a bridge between their inner world and the audience. This is why songs born out of pain feel so authentic. They don't just tell a story, they invite listeners to step into the artist's shoes. Adele's album 21 is a perfect example. Written in the aftermath of a devastating breakup, the album wasn't just a collection of songs, it was a cathartic journey. Tracks like Someone Like You didn't just resonate with Adele's personal pain. They became anthems for anyone who had ever loved and lost. Listeners didn't just hear her pain, they felt it. And that's the power of vulnerability in art. But why do we, as listeners, love sad songs so much? The answer lies in our biology. A study conducted at the University of Tokyo revealed that listening to melancholic music triggers the release of oxytocin, a hormone associated with empathy and bonding. This is why sad songs make us feel comforted. They remind us that we're not alone. There's more. Sad music also activates the default mode network in our brains, a system responsible for self-reflection and introspection. When we listen to a haunting melody or poignant lyrics, we're not just passively consuming music, we're actively engaging with our own emotions. It's no wonder that songs about pain often feel like therapy. From an evolutionary perspective, this makes sense. Humans are social creatures, and music has always been a way to connect with others. Anthropologists believe that early humans used music to bond with their communities, share stories, and process collective grief. Even today, music serves the same purpose. Whether it's a funeral hymn or a breakup ballad, music helps us navigate the complexities of human emotion. Now, let's delve deeper into the psychological effects of creating art from pain. When we turn our struggles into something tangible like a song, a painting, or a poem, we're engaging in what psychologists call sublimation. Sublimation is the process of transforming negative emotions into positive actions. It's a coping mechanism that allows us to channel our pain into something productive. For example, Vincent van Gogh famously channeled his mental health struggles into his paintings. His works, characterized by vivid colors and swirling patterns, were deeply influenced by his emotional state. Similarly, Sylvia Plath's poetry explored themes of depression and identity, giving voice to her inner turmoil. These artists didn't just create art, they used it as a form of healing. So, how can you harness the transformative power of pain? Here's the key. Start by embracing discomfort. Pain is messy, raw, and unpredictable. But that's exactly what makes it fertile ground for creativity. Begin by journaling. Write down everything, your thoughts, fears, frustrations. Don't worry about making it perfect. Focus on getting it out. Next, experiment with different forms of expression. If you're a musician, try composing a melody that mirrors your emotions. If you're a writer, explore poetry or storytelling. Sometimes, changing the medium helps unlock new perspectives. And finally, don't be afraid to share your work. Pain may feel isolating, but turning it into art can transform it into something universal. When you share your struggles, you give others permission to confront their own. But here's the twist. Pain doesn't just inspire creativity, it also connects us. Think about it. When you listen to a song about heartbreak, you're not just hearing the artist's story, you're reminded of your own. That's the magic of music. It bridges the gap between individual experiences and collective humanity. Which brings me to my next point, the role of resilience. Pain is inevitable, but it's also temporary. Artists like Linkin Park's Chester Bennington used music as a way to cope with life's challenges. He once said, "Music is my anchor." For many, creativity becomes a lifeline, a way to navigate the storm and emerge stronger on the other side. And here's the most empowering part. You don't have to be a professional artist to benefit from this process. Whether you're writing a song, painting a picture, or simply journaling your thoughts, the act of creation itself is healing. It transforms pain from a burden into a gift that can inspire others and leave a lasting legacy. Let's take a moment to reflect on the bigger picture. Pain is a universal human experience. It's something we all share, regardless of culture, language, or background. And yet, it's also deeply personal. No two people experience pain in exactly the same way. This duality, this tension between universality and individuality, is what makes art born from pain so powerful. When an artist channels their pain into a song, a painting, or a poem, they're not just expressing their own emotions, they're tapping into something much larger. They're reminding us of our shared humanity. And in doing so, they create a space where others can find solace, understanding, and even hope. So, the next time you're struggling, remember this. Your pain has the potential to become your greatest masterpiece. It's not easy, and it's not always comfortable, but it's worth it. Because when you turn your pain into art, you're not just healing yourself, you're healing others too. So, what's the takeaway? Pain is not the enemy, it's a catalyst. It's a force that pushes us to dig deeper, to feel more intensely, and to create more authentically. The next time you find yourself struggling, remember this. Your pain has the potential to become your greatest masterpiece. If this video resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who might need to hear this message today. And if you want more content like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Until next time, keep creating, because the world needs your voice and your story